Hello and welcome to another episode of Talks with Arun on Health and Wellness. We have Arun with us to answer some of the questions around most pressing health issues we currently face. First of all, Arun, thank you for being here. Now the question is, we hear a lot about different forms of yoga. With your experience, I would like you to share some of the details about different forms of yoga, how they are separate from each other, and what can a person do when they start with the yoga?
Sure. Yoga is a bit like different cuisines, and it is also definitely something like the kind of food that different people eat in different parts of the world and also at different times. It depends upon your personality and what you're looking for specifically, and what becomes available to you. Some forms of yoga are more spiritually inclined, some forms of yoga are more physically inclined. Some forms of yoga are more holistically inclined, which means that there is a balance of the spiritual tradition as well as the physical traditions. Yoga is more than 5,000 years old, and it has evolved with each passing generation. Many students, many teachers, a Guru Shishya Parampara. The great tradition of yoga has lived and survived and changed and modified according to the needs of the time. For somebody who's wanting to start yoga and wants to find out what is the right form, first of all, yoga must come to you. There must be an availability of yoga. The good news during these very strange times is that a lot of yoga is online, which means that earlier, if you lived in a certain kind of location, you may not be able to find the form of yoga that is most conducive to you. So today you can actually explore what really gels best. Going back to my food example, I may not like Chinese food much, but I might like South Indian food a lot. So if that is what appeals to me, then it's not very comfortable to eat Chinese food. I would be happier to eat South Indian food or something like that. I might like spicy food, but I'm getting bland food, and that may not be conducive to me. But everything is cuisine, everything is food, everything takes care of hunger, everything takes care of nutrition. There's no conflict there, but it has to appeal to me. In the same way, the form of yoga that appeals to you, then you can keep with for the rest of your life. The goal of all forms of yoga is only one, which is finding happiness, finding peace of mind, and finding your true well-being, physical, mental, and emotional well-being. That is it. So in that sense, let's say you want a physically oriented practice, then that is available, where the yoga practices start with a lot of very intense physical postures. And of course, there are levels as well. There's entry level, there's intermediate, there's advanced. On the other side are more spiritual practices based on faith, based on knowledge, the yoga of knowledge, the yoga of bhakti, the yoga of doing the rightful action, selfless action. And somewhere in between lies an amalgamation of these two extremes. If you're more emotionally inclined, then you have that kind of yoga. If you're more intellectually inclined, then there is that form of yoga. In the Sivananda system, we bring in the middle path, so to say. There is a good attention to physical practices, the asanas. There is good attention to the breathing practices, which is pranayama. Our classes and the approach to yoga are meditative. So it's giving an entire workout for the physical, mental and emotional well-being of a person. We also have a good attention to Bhakti Yoga, and we also take care of the knowledge part, which is to really understand things, our relationship with the universe, our relationship with ourselves, the basic education about ourself. That is also available in the Sivananda system. Since I represent the Sivananda system and I've been in the system for the last 30 years, I find the system to be very wholesome. It's like having a starter, the main course, the dessert, all put together in a very thoughtful manner. And that's the Sivananda system according to me. So the yoga that I practice and the yoga that I teach, while it's one of the forms of yoga, but it's also an expression of all forms of yoga. Some are on one side and some are on the other side. And somewhere in the middle is this particular form, which is the Sivananda form. And I'd be very happy to welcome you and all the viewers to participate in this particular form, which is the Sivananda classes and the Sivananda yoga. Thank you.
So that concludes this episode of Talks with Arun on health and wellness. I hope you found this conversation useful on your path to wellness. If you like this video, press the like button and don't forget to share it with your friends and family members. If you have additional queries, post them in the comment box and we'll be more than happy to include those in our future episodes. Till then, stay well. Namaste.